Bruce Arena has called up his first squad call-up for the US men's national team. There's some surprises in there that we're going to mention, some players that are not included. But let's take a look at the squad, and we can gauge how this US men's national team is going to move forward.
Stay with me now.
We're fucked. We're fucked. We're fucked.
So many chances to sign so many players, give them fake citizenships. We have Trump as president. We can get away with anything.
It's not going to happen.
And yet we're rocking teams with the Vancouver Whitecaps FC.
You're not only just watching that, you're rocking DeMarcus Beasley, who doesn't have a club.
Here's a question. Here's a question for you. I'm being honest, and by a show of hands in the studio with only one person in it, so Edwin, you are my pole of the world. Have you ever heard of Atlanta United? Show of hands says nobody.
Survey says. All right, but
Atlanta United.
Before you scream at the TV like stuff like, "Where's Christian Puliisc? Where is it?"
Did
like,
I scream that?
I think you screamed it in the studio.
I screamed it at my desk, and everyone, people look at me at the studio, like in our work environment all the time, going like, "What are you yelling at?"
Yeah,
yelling at the Twitter, Mom. Stop it.
I'm not going to gauge this as any sort of indicator as to how Bruce Arena's team's going to move.
No, Mike,
forward,
this is the start of the Bruce Arena 2.0 era.
Yeah, and if you remember Bruce Arena 1.0, wasn't bad, right? But this is when the US was starting to kind of grow. And then when you get Jurgen Klinsmann's era, you started to be introduced to the upper half of international football, where you were close to making it into the quarterfinals, when you were competing with the likes of Germany, Portugal, Belgium. And now it seems to be that this is a very US-based, MLS-heavy roster in comparison
Shocking,
with
with
this.
Bruce Arena as your manager.
But you have to remember that you cannot call up like Christian Puliisc in the middle of Dortmund's season.
First of all, you can, but I understand why.
It's not going to happen.
Number two, the only thing I genuinely really like about Bruce Arena is the fact that he looks like the type of guy that if you don't play well or if you run around like Michael Beasley. Michael Beasley had like the most minutes watched or most minutes.
Who is Michael Beasley?
Michael Beasley was a Kansas State forward who got drafted very high in the NBA draft and went on to have a very mediocre career in the NBA.
Using him?
No, we're not
Is
using
he good?
him.
I heard he's good in front of
No.
goal.
What Beasley am I thinking
I think
of?
you're Michael Bradley.
Michael Bradley is who I'm thinking of. Sorry, the NBA crossover. Michael Bradley runs around, doesn't touch the ball for like 97 minutes at a time, and then but he covered the most ground. Bruce Arena is the type of guy that seems like if he's having a problem with his players, he'll simply take them to the back of Holstein's Ice Cream in Delhi in New Jersey and just whack them. You're done. No more. And then no one, but by the way, when you play for a team like Atlanta United, not Michael Bradley, I know that. And yes, I know Atlanta United is a team. I just barely follow the MLS. You.
Keep it going. Choo-choo. Train of thought coming through. Choo-choo.
No one will miss you when you're gone because no one knows where the hell you play for.
Are you going to jump on board?
I'm not ripping this camp. I'm still upset that we decided to backtrack to the year 2002.
Yeah.
With Bruce Arena. Maybe he's learned something new. Maybe he's going to bring a different element to this team. But when I look at a camp that is still filled with the guys by the names of Josie Altidore, who has no business, with all his injury history and unproven play time and time again, being invited to camp.
Yeah.
Bring me a 19-year-old. I don't care from where. We got Boston College from all I give a shit about. Doesn't have to be playing in the MLS. He could be playing for like Holy Trinity Catholic High School. And put him on my team.
I love these references. Like, who are these people? Where is this ice cream shop that you're talking
Holstein's
about?
Ice Cream is in the town that me and Kyrie Irving happen to become from.
And has people been
It's
whacked in there before?
It's where the last scene of The Sopranos took place.
Oh.
It is a real place.
So that's why people get whacked.
Great ice cream, but every time I go back in there now when I'm home, I go like, I don't feel that safe here.
So, of course, 32 players from 15 different MLS clubs. You can't fault the guy for spreading it wide around the MLS clubs. I mean, Atlanta United are represented there. There is some things, but the camp, of course, falls outside the FIFA international window, which means clubs in Europe and Mexico did not have to release their players, which so
why would you have the camp?
Because he needs to prepare for the World Cup qualifiers because they didn't go well, according to Bruce Arena. I'm going to read his quote. The last couple of games of qualifying didn't go well, so we're looking for some players that are eager to get on the field and make some contributions because, of course, the MLS season has concluded. So he does have a tough-ish job because he has to balance his best players, or his best player, should I say, and others like Fabian Johnson and those guys playing their trade in Germany. So he needs to start to form this camaraderie, this chemistry that he wants to focus on without some of the key components. So he needs to try and at least build some sort of system, and hopefully these players, seeing how professional they are and how good they are, will fit in.
You ever seen the movie Miracle?
Miracle on Ice.
Yeah, that movie.
Is it Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell.
Yeah, I heard he's going to be in as the assistant coach.
Yeah, here's what I want the Team USA to do. From now until their World Cup qualifier, I think they should be doing sprints. So at least when we get on the field, like, we're in great shape. Because I am so done watching mediocre U.S. men's national team football, and I'm done trying to believe in something that is never going to come to fruition under the current system we have, like you have been over time and time again.
Yeah.
I can tell you there is nothing worse to a fan than false hope. Mm-hmm. Nothing. It crushes you. It demoralizes you. It makes you wish you didn't have a national soccer team to begin with. So I will once again jump on the American bandwagon, root for the Vancouver Whitecaps, which is in Canada of all places, and put on my Make America Play Soccer Somewhat Halfway Decent Again hat.
Take money away. Well,
Bring out my Clint Dempsey jersey.
It's Friday, Jason. I didn't want to get into the whole pay-to-play model, but again, it's what I've been stating. And I remember I did the clip when they hired Bruce Arena, and people were under the impression that this was a move forward, right? A guy who managed for 10 years and then helped them in their route to somewhat success, but the ceiling is always going to be there. That ceiling will never be broke through unless you have some sort of reinventing of the system that has hindered and anchored some of the best players that you could produce in the country to the bottom scale, as well as competing with basketball and football. It's a very difficult situation to be in. As a football fan in this country, I am under the realization that, Bruce Arena will not deliver this squad back to greatness unless you start to revamp the system. So the first kind of indicator of what's going to happen under Bruce Arena will take place January 29th in San Diego when they face Serbia.
Worse, man. Because we're going to beat Serbia.
You think so?
We are. We're going to beat Serbia 2-0, and then people are going to come out and being like, Bruce Arena with a great showing, and then we're going to get spanked by a competition of our level.
Like
That's
Jamaica.
what crushes me. We'll lose to Jamaica.
They're playing Jamaica on February 3rd. So,
Shake it here. You heard it here first. We will beat Serbia. We will lose to Jamaica.
Sounds good. Don't be alerted, though. There will be time where you can bring up your actual talented players who are playing football in Europe. You just can't do it outside the FIFA window at the moment. So, don't worry. DeMarcus Beasley, formerly of Rangers. Maybe that's why I don't like him. Michael Beasley, as Jason just mentioned, coming up from Kansas State. Hit us in the comments, and we'll be back very, very soon.